Can you hear me? Hi. Hi. Some technical details. Hmm. Cool. Ah,
Okay, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me and you can see me.
I can hear you. I can see you. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I can hear you and
everyone,
I can see you.
oh, brilliant. So everyone on Facebook, can you hear me and Leigh? Can you now hear and see us?
Yes.
Oh,
It seems like
yay, yay. I think they can see us now. Brilliant.
we are seen and
How
heard.
great that you all know that I am not techie like at all. Okay, brilliant. So we have got Ria, we have got Sally, we've got Hazel, we've got Dorothy that have joined live. Thank you everyone for joining us live. Thank you. So here we are. I'm Petra, as you know. If it's your first time watching any of my live streams, please write in the chat blonde hair, just so I know, okay, if you're new to one of my streams. Um, And I wanted to speak to you today just to introduce you to my client, Leigh Shulman. And we're going to be having an open, honest conversation about what it's like to work with me, how her business has changed, what she's doing now, and how basically amazing she is. This is totally unscripted, so we haven't got any questions that is pre-written down. I have no idea what she's going to say today, and she has no idea what I'm going to say. So Leigh, are you down with that?
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Good. Okay. So, do you want to introduce yourself then?
Sure. Yes, I'm Leigh Schulman, and I run a series. I'm a writing teacher, a writing mentor, and a writing coach. And I run a series of high-end luxury writing retreats for women. And they're always international, outside of the United States somewhere. And we focus on everything you can possibly imagine about writing, getting your book done, and finding the confidence to tell your story.
Brilliant. So Leigh and I, we met in a Facebook group a couple of months ago, and Leigh booked a discovery call to work with me. Can you share with us, Leigh, what your business was like before working with me, and why you decided to choose me as your consultant?
Well, I've always loved the work I do. So the way I work with people individually, that hasn't changed. It's how I find people to work with that's changed. And at the time we met, I was frustrated. I felt like I was putting huge amounts of time and energy trying to find the right people to come to retreats. And I mean, I know the retreat is great. I know what I offer is wonderful. I know people gain a lot from it. But just getting people to see what I was saying was the hard part, and then to sign up for it. And the reason I wanted to work with you initially is because I saw you in this group, and you're just so dynamic, and it's so hard. Like, you're so much fun, and you're so, the things you post are interesting. I want to do that for my business too, because they're also very real. It wasn't like I felt like I was being marketed to, or that anything was not just like plasticky and odd. It was just very real. And so I looked at it and I said, I want to know how to do that, because I can engage people really well with their writing one-on-one. But if I can't get people to that point, then I can't work with people. So that's when I said hello to you. We became friends on Facebook, and I booked a discovery.
Brilliant. And we've got more people joining us, Leigh. So thank you so much, Rowena. We've got Paula Jane. We've got Sue. We've got Julie. Oh, Julie, hi. It's the first time you've seen one of my streams. Brilliant. And we've got Andrea Maynard Braid. So thank you so much, you all, for joining me. What I will say as well, when Leigh first came to work with me, you actually also came through one of my webinars, didn't you?
That webinar really gave me a chance to know a little bit more about you and how you work and what you do. So it was up, and it was true. It was through the webinar that I signed up for the discovery.
Brilliant, through the webinar. Thank you. So share with us then. I know that you were saying that you do good work with your clients, but you found it very difficult to actually enroll them. What problems or challenges did you actually have before when you were working with your one-on-one clients? And yeah, with your one-on-one clients, first of all, in terms of enrollment and pay and having them pay.
Well, I think one of the things I was doing that I think wasn't working is I was going hour by hour. And what that did is it sort of set up a system where people could come and go, and they weren't really committed to the work. Or there was no reason that they absolutely had to commit to the work. So we didn't really, we never, some projects completed, some didn't. Some of the other challenges I was having was it would be great to, I would be able to talk to people about their writing, but moving from talking about their writing to having them commit to a real plan with me, that just wasn't happening. And so in talking to people, we were doing some really great work in the initial talking, but I couldn't just talk to people because I need to still be paid, and I have to still pay my bills. And, finding that connection just wasn't really happening.
Brilliant. Okay, so what you're saying that you was enrolling people, but you were charging per session, and they wasn't really committed to working. They wasn't committed to the actual work. Would you mind sharing how much you used to charge before, Leigh?
Oh, and it did vary because I've always done a fair amount of pro bono work, and I like to help people where I can. I was charging anywhere, depending on what I was doing, between $100 and $100, and I'd say $250 an hour, depending on what we were working on.
Okay, brilliant. Those of you that are watching live, remember this is live interaction, so remember that you can just post any questions, okay, in the chat, and then we can both answer them for you. Okay. So remember that you can post your questions below. Okay, cool. So live interaction. Let me just turn this down. Remember that you can just post. Okay, brilliant. So you were charging between $100 and around $250 an hour. Okay, brilliant. So how have you now changed in terms of the packages that you offer? Because I know that was a real stumbling block for you, really, because even though you know that your work was good, it was still, you couldn't really imagine anyone paying that amount of money, what you charge now. So can you kind of explain to us what you did differently and how we packaged you?
Well, I think initially what it felt like is, I think you're right. I didn't really see, like, how would someone pay $3,000 for, to work with me for 6 months to finish their book. And, so I guess I thought I would just move slowly through and it'd be more comfortable for people to say, okay, an hour here, an hour here. But the problem with that is, A, it's not really quantifiable, and you can't, like, nobody will commit to that. You don't commit to something hour by hour. You commit to finishing a project. Mm-hmm. And what that did for me is, because, like, because it would be, okay, an hour here, and then maybe we wouldn't have another hour for another couple of weeks, or another month would pass. So there was no continuity. And ultimately, I wasn't able to follow the kind of pattern and the type of work that I would normally do with someone. Whereas now it's a program. And I looked at the program and I said, okay, how many hours is this? How much work am I putting into this? And what is my time worth? And what is the value of what I'm giving? And what that, not giving, but what is the value of what people are getting when they work with me? And then I put a set amount to that. And then when someone agrees to that, they are committing not just the time with me, but the money to themselves as much as it is to me, to say, yes, I'm going to finish this project. And then that commits my time to them. Because before, I would take a client, more than 4 or 5 clients at a time, because I can't focus on more than 4 or 5 books at a time. Like, I need to really have my head in your book. I really need to be able to live in the journey in the book that you're writing. I can't do that with 20 people, but I can do that with 5. And if having a clear package allows you to commit to me, and I can commit to you fully. So it really just made everything better. And it meant I didn't have to worry about business as much. I didn't have to worry about sales as much. I didn't have to constantly be bringing people in, because I only had room for 4 or 5 one-on-ones. So those filled immediately. Like, those filled in a couple weeks, actually.
Can you share with us? I remember our first coaching session, and we were going through your package, and I was showing you exactly how to have an enrollment conversation, and we then put a price tag, the fee on your package. Can you remember how you felt during that first session when we said, right, okay, this is now what your new fee is, and you are going to offer this to people that you already knew that were interested in what you was offering? How did you feel about that? Do you remember?
I do. I remember. It's something I revisit all because I'm looking at when I'm different help people. And I think when I looked at it and I said, okay, this is what I'm offering, and I really broke it down as a package, I thought, wow, that's actually really fair. That's a really fair package. It works really well for the people, and I feel good about the price. Mm-hmm. But it was when I started thinking about offering it to other people that I was like, oh God, how can I do that? Because even though I believe, even at the time I believed, and I very much believe now, that it's 100% good deal. Asking other people for me, and I really had no idea how to do it, you know. And when in our discovery call, when you said to me, would you like someone to just tell you exactly what you need to do in order to make that happen? That for me was like, yes. And that's when I mean, there were a lot of other reasons I wanted to work with you, but that for me was like, that was the point where I was like, absolutely, I need to work with you, you know, and I don't need anybody to tell me what to do when it comes to my work and how to teach people to write and get them to write their books. When it comes to asking people for money and having them commit to a program with me, that's when I really needed someone to say, okay, do this, say this, you know, and this is how you can really share a really authentic message with people. So, and it was good. I needed it.
I love that, because I did ask you that question. Do you want someone to? Yes. So yes. I love. We've got a couple of questions, Leigh. Sue Lackman says, is she saying she was getting clients but wasn't converting them, or she was but not charging enough? Do you want to answer that, Leigh?
Both. Sure. Both. Hi, Sue. And it was both, because I was getting clients, but, you know, even let's say out of, you know, 10 clients, 5 of them convert. If I'm only charging $100 an hour, you know, and only meeting with them 5 times over the course of, you know, 6 months, then I'm not charging enough. So so at the rates I was charging, I wasn't getting enough clients. Now, the number of clients that I was getting before, the number of people who are interested, fewer are converting, not money fewer, but I can't take as many clients. So I'm not really, so now that I'm charging enough, it's kind of, I don't know if I'm stumbling over my words. So basically it changed in both ways. In charging more, I brought in the right clients. I don't need to convert as much, so I don't have as many discovery calls. So I'm converting less than before because I don't need to convert as much. But because I'm charging the right amount, now it's kind of all evens out. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. So basically what you're saying is you were booking discovery calls, but they was only at $100 an hour, so you wasn't making that much money. You were making some money, but you wasn't making that much money, okay? But then now the conversion is a lot different now, because you're actually booking a lot of discovery calls. Sometimes you book between 5 to 7 discovery calls a week, isn't that so? Yeah. So you're booking discovery calls really easily. But the difference with you is now, because you said to me a few weeks ago that when people ask you, they come on the call with you, you go through the discovery call with them, and then when you tell them the fee, they're just paying you. Do you remember?
Yes. I mean, sometimes people do. I mean, look, obviously money is an issue, and you know, people are going to ask. But it's interesting that I'd say, you know, a good number of the people who say yes before they ask how much it is. And we're already at the point where they're paying me when they're like, oh, by the way, how much is this?
Right. So what you're saying is that they're already committed. They're already committed to working with you. They can feel and see that you're the person that can help them to actually create and write their book. They like you, they trust you. So they're already at a yes. And then you say, well, here is exactly what the fee is. And some say yes, and some say no. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
But at the moment,
but I will say, even the people who say no, you know, like we stay in touch, because it's, you know, the retreats and my one-on-ones are definitely, they are the high end, but I want to help as many people as I can. So that's why I said I'm always in the process of developing new things. So the discovery call is as much for people to get to know me and for me to get to know them, and also what people need generally. So even if somebody says no, the discovery calls are always really useful. You know, but I would say, yeah. And so a no to me feels more like, okay, it's a no to working with that person then, but it's still a really good connection.
All right, we've got a few questions coming in. I'm going to answer those in a second. But what I really want to emphasize is that I get messages from Leigh telling me that she's had a discovery call, but she's not really sure if she wants to take them on. And when you've done that before, that's because deep down, you really, now you're in a position where, you don't need clients. Okay. You don't need clients. You're in a position where, you're a book coach. You help people to write and publish their books. You know that you can help that person. You know who your ideal client is, and you understand exactly how to take them from no book to a book. So literally how to communicate your value. Because of that, because you're so clear on that, you're the one who decides who you want to work with. So have you not found that you've had discovery calls and deep down you didn't really mind whether or not you wanted to work with them or not? So you didn't really make them that offer to work with you?
Yes. No, that definitely happens. And I spend 6 months working with people on a book. That has to be a good connection. Like, you have to have a strong connection with that person. You have to work well together. And so, yeah, before I think I would take clients even if it wasn't necessarily a good fit, because I felt like a feeling of scarcity. Like, if I don't take this client, I'll never find another one. Mm-hmm. Whereas now I feel like, I would much rather find a client who's right for me and I'm right for them than take somebody on. So there definitely are people, like, I'll have calls sometimes, and like I said, I love the connection and I enjoy talking to them, but I don't try to make the sale, and, maybe later we can talk about making the sale, because even now when I say making the sale, like, because writing a book and sharing yourself with somebody and making a sale don't feel like they go together. And but ultimately making the sale for me means I get to work with this person and I get to bring their book to life. Mm-hmm. And, and it's whether or not, when that person feels I'm the right person and I feel they're the right person, that's what making the sale means, that there's an exchange. And actually, Christy has a question. She asked if am I coaching on the discovery calls, or is it strictly a discovery call? In my case, the number one thing in a discovery call for me is finding out what people really need. Mm-hmm. So while we don't really talk about solutions, because, it's an hour call, and, first, in any time you work with someone, you have to know exactly what they need. So I guess it really is a discovery in the sense of, we're talking to each other, they're finding out about me, who I am, how I work, I'm finding out about who they are, what they do, what's going on in their lives, what gets in the way of their writing. And that will help us both know, can we work together? Is this the right thing for both of us? Mm-hmm. And so is there coaching in it? Yeah, there are times I will say to people, look, it doesn't sound like you're committing to your work. And if you can't commit, there's no point in doing this. And I think that is coaching, but it's not the same as, I don't sit down and get into the writing and talk about, specific things that are going on with the writing. That starts when we actually start working together. Because the truth is, before I can start working on a book with somebody, I usually need to read what they've written. Mm-hmm. And most people come to me with a portion written, and I'm not going to read, 150 pages before every discovery call, because it doesn't make sense.
What I want to touch on there as well is, first of all, if you're liking this video, please give us some hearts, and also share it as well, because one of the things that I'm passionate about is a lot of coaches and consultants aren't making enough money. And I wanted to interview Leigh to show you that it doesn't have to be difficult to start enrolling clients and making money in business. So be sure to go out there and share this out. We've got some more. Oh, before we start, I'm going to answer these questions, but I just want to really, really say that after our first session, after one session with Leigh, you enrolled your first high-end client, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
After one session, she enrolled her first high-end clients. And after 3 weeks of working together, just 3 weeks, would you mind sharing with us exactly what you made?
Well, I don't, okay, I'd have to calculate the exact numbers of 3 weeks. I will say that Okay. Well, like, okay. After 3 weeks of working together, because I had set a goal. We'd had a first session, and I
Oh,
set a
yes,
month at this.
yeah.
Oh, we had our first session, and then we set goals, and my goal was to fill all my one-on-ones by like a month, and I set the date. And after 3 weeks, I called. We had our call, and she's like, "Well, where are you?" I'm like, I filled all my one-on-ones already." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." I met all, like, the goals that we set our first session were totally filled by the third week. And I was shocked. Like, I never, like, if you had told me that when we started, but now a lot of, like, because I saw the testimonials, I know, and that's what's awesome. Like, your attitude, and you're always cheering me on, and it makes me want to go online and be like, "Hey, Petra, I did this, and this is what's happening," and it just makes it fun. I really enjoy, like, I enjoy doing this. And I mean, before Petra, like, I never talked about money with people. And how can you run a business if you're not talking about money? And 3 weeks, I had filled all my goals from the first session. And then we kind of went on to build more goals. And I would say we've been working together 3 months now, I think. And in those 3 months, like, I would never have been able to, like, based on the testimonials that I heard in the webinar and the things that I heard about Petra, like, what I heard in the testimonials didn't match up to how much and they were amazing. Like, the people in our testimonials are fantastic. But I feel like it's gone so much further than that, and I've learned so much more. And it's not just about the money. It's about creating a business that really works, and that is sustainable, and that is authentic, and that is really me. And I actually enjoy it in a way I never have before. So I don't remember the exact amount. I'd have to calculate. Do you want to say how much I made in that first 3 weeks? I don't remember.
Actually, I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to forget at all.
All right.
Okay. So
in the first 3 weeks, I think I made about, oh God, I'm terrible at math in my head, especially on a live video. I think I made about $18,000 in the first 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. You made 21,000. Yeah,
21.
You made. Leigh made 21,000 within 3 weeks of working with me. Okay, just 3 weeks of working. Oh, we've got so many people joining. We've got Kaya joining. We've got Steph. We've got Georgette join us. Christy. This is brilliant. So let's just go through some of these questions. Okay, so Andrea says, I need to know how to market myself online, knowing what you want and marketing it when you're not an IT expert. So, Leigh, do you want to answer that question? How do you market yourself online when you're not an IT expert?
Well, I don't think you have to be an IT. You mean like a tech expert? I don't think you have to be, because I mean, I do have a fairly technical background, but I prefer not to do it because it takes my time away from other work. It's really, a lot of the marketing I do is Facebook posts, interacting with people, talking in groups. And really, it's just about me being myself and kind of getting out there. So it's pretty, and certain things are hard, like not hard on an IT way. Like, I mean, I think everybody has their own areas that are difficult for them. For me, live video is really difficult, like really difficult. And my first live video, like, I was shaking. I think people could tell on the video, and it cut out. It was like the video fell apart, and it was funny because it was all about making mistakes. But but you get over that, and and one thing is, it's one of the things that was also really hard for me because there are so many options. There's so many places on social media you can go on. There's so many different ways and technologies and things that you can use. And, that's also where I got really lost. I'm like, well, I could do all of these, but I don't have time to do all of these. And Petra really helped me focus on the ones that were the most important. And those are the ones that I do over and over and over. So the more that I do them, the more helpful they are, the more they bring in. And then on top of that, she helped me first figure out what I wanted to outsource. And then she helped me outline it, figure out how it was going to happen. And then she also helped me find a VA that I'm working with now. But we've only been working together, I think, with the VA maybe like 2 or 3 weeks now. But it's great. It's great because my VA is a tech expert. So any of the things that I need done that I could spend, 3 days figuring out how to do them, but I really don't want to. she does it in 20 minutes and it's finished and it's easier.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Christy says there aren't many coaches that do that in terms of
Oh, I didn't
Christy
hear you. Oh,
says there aren't many coaches that do that. Christy, do you mean because we were talking before that what I teach my clients is not to coach on discovery calls. I teach them not to give anything away for free. If you've been following me for a while, you will know that I don't do free sessions. I don't. Everything free that I give is literally on online, on YouTube, on my blog. But when someone comes for a discovery call, we don't give them specific solutions to their answer. We help them to see that their problems are big and they need to hire us to get them solved. Okay. Sue also says, how do you get to book a discovery call? I'm interested in the process. Okay. So booking discovery calls is all about knowing where your target market is, understanding what it is that they need, letting them see already that you're the one that can help them solve their problem. So booking discovery calls is actually, it's not difficult to book discovery calls. I mean, this is what my secret sauce is actually. So I help my clients to book discovery calls because a lot of the time, when you position yourself as a high-end brand or as someone that is an expert in your field, people, your audience is already pre-sold to work with you. Then they see within themselves that they've got this problem, and they can person, okay, to help them. Because what you've got to think about when it comes to marketing is an exchange of emotion. So what I teach my clients to do is actually create emotional Facebook posts, emotional videos, which connects intimately with their audience, and then that person then books the discovery call with them. Okay. So Andrew also said, I have a small web page, but it needs to be interactive to sell my health products, market my book. Okay, Andrea, I would recommend you joining my group, my Facebook group. It's called Enroll High-End Clients with Ease. Please, can someone put the link below? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, any other questions, please type them in. Okay, please type them in the chat. Okay, so we have spoken about what your business was like before. We've spoken about how you enroll clients. Can you please share with us how the vision of your business has changed? Because I think that you've mentioned to me before that the way you see your business and how it's going to be the next few years, it's changed. Are you happy to share with us how that's changed for you?
Sure. Well, I think because, initially I'd been focusing on, well, I have these great products, but how do I sell them? But I was spending so much time trying to find clients that I didn't really have, I wasn't able to look at the big picture, and I wasn't able to, I had all these great ideas for new products and ways that I could help people, but I just didn't have the time to do them. And now, now that I have more of a system in place and I have a VA taking care of some things, and, I just have more time in my day to actually develop those projects and those products. Mm-hmm. So instead of just, like I said, because I was doing originally I started with doing one-on-ones. I stopped doing the one-on-ones when I started doing the retreats because I couldn't do them both at the same time while I was trying to fill them. And then I still had all these ideas for, excuse me, for other things, for a book that I want to write, and for a membership site, and for lots of other little things that I really wanted to do. But, actually before I met Petra, I usually do a 1-year plan. Well, I have a 1-year plan and a 3-year plan of what I see, what I want to do coming up. And originally my membership site was for some time in 2016 because I had no idea when I was going to get to it. And, now I moved that up and I'm going to be launching it this year. And I have time for everything, and I have time for a big picture. And it means I don't have to turn away people who can't come to the retreat, but they still want to work on their writing, because now I have something that I can actually offer them that will be supportive and helpful. And it's just, it's allowed me to big picture. What am I doing for people, and what are the different ways that I can do it for them? Instead of being like, well, how am I going to make this next sale? How am I going to fill this retreat? Because if I don't fill the retreat, then that costs me a lot of money, and it's stressful. And that stress, when you ease the stress of making sales and finding clients, it really allows you to be your business and to do what you most want to do. And I would say that's how it's changed, how I've looked at it. And also how I've, sorry, go ahead.
We've got some more people joining. Thank you, Jennifer Hutchinson, for joining me. Thank you, Wayne Ari, for joining. Davine D. and Terence, thank you for joining us. You said something really key. You said that there's no more stress. Do you want to just expand on that? And how was it stressful before? And how is there no stress? Because if you follow me on social media, you know that my tagline is enroll high-end clients with ease, okay? With ease. So how is that how has that changed now? How is it now more natural, with ease, with joy, with confidence? How is that now?
All right, well, okay. For example, a retreat. I have to sign a contract. I sign a contract with the retreat center to pay them a certain amount of money by certain dates, which puts me in a position where I have to fill. If I'm not filling that with clients to make those payments, that comes out of my budget. And if I don't make sales at all, that means like I can't just cancel the retreat, and that means I've committed to it. And it would stress me out to no end, because the focus would be more on like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And now, yes, do I still worry about it? A little bit. But mostly I feel like I can trust the system that I have. The system that we've worked on, that we've put in place, it works. I literally have people popping up in my Facebook being like, hey, can I talk with you about this? Hey, can I talk? And it's over. Like, you're right. Like I have to have weeks where I can't do discovery calls because I need a break, because I've done 5 or 6 the week before.
Can we just celebrate let's just pause a second, Leigh, and just celebrate that. Just celebrate that. You get messages, inboxes of people saying, hey, I want to work with you. Hey, can you help me with this? You get all of that constantly, to the point where you have to take a break from discovery calls. Okay, everyone that's watching right now, we need some hearts for that. We need some hearts. We need some thumbs up. She has to take a break from discovery calls. And before, she wasn't booking that many discovery calls. Listen, I keep telling you, and I have to keep stressing this so much. And I have to say that you have people right now in your audience that want to work with you, that are willing to work with you, and that want to pay you more. They want to pay you more. And I just have to emphasize it. Okay, I'm done emphasizing.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remember something, Leigh. Remember when remember that discovery call you had with someone? This is when we first, and that person said you were too expensive. Do you remember?
Which time? Oh, you mean before we met?
No,
before we met.
We had a discovery call, right? And the person said to you, I can't afford it. I've got things happening with my family and everything. And then I said to you to call her back. Do you remember? Do you remember that? And then you called her back a few days later, and then she paid you in full.
I mean, because the thing is, a lot of people say that, and I'm, I would never want someone to do something like everyone knows what they can really afford. But I think often price, people will initially say, I can't afford this. Because it's scary, or because any number of reasons. Because can I afford this means a lot of different things. Like if you're going to go in debt, if you're not going to be able to pay your bills and have food because of it, then yes, no, you can't afford it. And I would never ever want to push somebody into doing something they really can't do. Mm-hmm. But again, it's a commitment. And so there was that woman where she wasn't sure, she couldn't afford it, And I said, all right, well, why don't we just set a time to talk later? Take your time, think about it. And then when she came back, well, initially we'd set up a payment plan, and then within a couple weeks, she actually just sent me the whole thing. She's like, I have it now. Here's the whole thing.
And
So
yeah, I mean, that is brilliant. And this is why I always say to you and everyone else is never look at someone and assume whether or not they can pay. Never ever do
no,
that. It's none of your business as a coach how much money someone has in their bank or their credit card. It's none of your business. Or your business, what you are meant to do as a coach or consultant is talk about your value, talk about how you can help them, and have a seamless, easy discovery call, and turn that conversation into a paying client. And it's not sleazy. It's not a heavy sell. I don't teach any high pressure sales tactics or any objection handling tactics. In fact, have I even really taught you how to answer objections? I don't even know.
you have, I don't remember. I think you have like in your offline group where you have all your resources.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have some connections there. But I mean, what tends to happen is when we developed a list of questions that I ask clients that help me know what they want, but they serve a double purpose of kind of addressing all the objections that people have, so it almost happens very naturally. So no, I don't, in my calls, like I don't think I'll ever be comfortable telling somebody, oh no, I know you say you can't afford it, but what about this? Like, I don't think I'll ever be comfortable doing that.
No.
And I don't, but I have to. I don't have to.
No, I don't want to. You said something really good. You said that during the actual discovery call process, you're able to overcome the objections before they even say it. Is that right?
I think so. It wasn't something I planned. It just happened. It happened. I didn't. Well, because the questions are really good, and because it's not about me convincing somebody to work with me. Like, you never have to convince someone to work with you. If you're at that point, then you shouldn't be working with them. It's you are who you are. You offer what you offer, and I haven't changed the work I do at all. What's changed is how I present the work to people through the questions I ask, through how I answer, through how I respond to them, and how I present myself online. That is what lets people know, oh yeah, they like what I offer, they like the way I work, and they want to work with me. So the discovery call really is more about talking about the details, like what is it that you really need, because each person needs something different, and how can I help you, and is this something that's going to work? And then, somebody said to me, the decision to pay money or not isn't really the decision that's being made. The decision is, are you the right people to work together? Once that decision has been made, the commitment is the money. And then people either are willing to make that commitment or not. And it's, so I am never in a position, and I never, like, that's what always made me so uncomfortable with sales. I don't want to tell people, like you said, I don't want to assume how much money you have. I don't want to guess if you have enough money to pay me or not. You're right. And I love that. It's none of my business. And it's a relief that it's none of my business. I don't want it to be my business. And and sometimes it would almost be offensive to be like, oh, you can't. Imagine if someone said that to you, you want their service and they're assuming that you don't have the money to pay them. Like you'd be pissed off at them for doing that. So instead, I don't even deal with that at all. It's like, this is what it is. Do we work? Yes. I would love for you to work with me. Let's figure out the details.
Also, what I want to emphasize too, because I enrolled a client yesterday, and then she was saying to me that she knows that there are successful coaches and consultants that do make money in their business, but they do that by paid advertising. What I want to say is that these 3 months, you have not paid for any advertising. You've not done any webinars. You have literally had organic people come to you. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. And we've got more people joining. Hi, thanks for joining. We've got Tina. Hi, Tina. Thanks for joining us as well. Please, can you share with us, Leigh? Because you've been doing your retreats now for a few years, haven't you? Your book retreats. Tell us how you used to enroll people before, what challenges you had, and tell us and then tell us how quickly you've been enrolling people onto that. And I just want to say that these retreats are high-end luxury retreats, okay, that you do. And I think they used to charge what, $1,800, I think, for them or something.
Depending on the room, it ranged between 1,400 and like 2,300, depending on the type of room or where it was, or whether there was like the early.
And since we've been working together, you've tripled your fees for that now, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
well,
tell us.
Before, see, here's the thing though. Before, like, I wasn't. Well, actually, you and I started working together right before my last retreat, so I really got to see. So I went into my last retreat with the mindset of working with you while dealing with how I used to work. Mm-hmm. And the retreat was great, and I love the people that I worked with, and I walked out of the retreat and I'm like, that was amazing. But the whole time I was looking and I was like, I'm not charging people for everything that they're getting. Like, the value they're getting is so much more than what I'm charging, and that's fine, but I can't sustain a business putting all of that into it. When I'm, because I walked away from a retreat, which is months of work, a lot of time, it's years of expertise. It's the full week is like, I am fully there doing one-on-ones and workshops and organizing everything. Mm-hmm. And, and I walked away not really I think I made a few $1,000s from it, mm-hmm. And that's a lot, in order to make my living with those retreats, I would have to do 20 or 30 a year in the way I was doing them, which is impossible. Whereas
can you share the quickness of how you're enrolling people onto the retreats?
Yeah, I usually give about a year to fill the retreat, and it usually takes the full year. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'm enrolling. In the past, I would have someone sign up at the last minute. It's half full, and I only launched it a month ago, and it was a soft launch. I only let a few people know about it. My sales page wasn't even ready till a few days ago. So
basically what you're saying is, before working with me, it would take you a whole year to fill your retreat. And then mm-hmm. just in 3 months, you've actually been able to fill half of your spots, and you've tripled your investment. Sorry?
In 1 month, I filled half the spots because
barely. Okay.
So I only launched the retreat a month ago. I launched it in October.
Wow.
In early October, I think I launched it.
So in October, you launched it. So I want everyone to really make this clear, because if you watch me on social media, you always hear me say, you can enroll high-end clients if you don't have a sales page, if you don't have a fancy website, if you don't spend money on Facebook ads, and even if you don't have a sales funnel. I really want to. So Leigh launched her retreat without any of those things, and she's enrolled she's got half of the spots already filled. And remember, she's tripled the investment of the retreat, and she has people that are paying her in full straight away on one phone call. Okay, so I really have to make that clear. Oh, got people. Tina says, wow, well done, Leigh. Wow. And we've got a question from Christy. Christy says, were the people Leigh had joined for your one-to-one program new to her, or had she already built a relationship with them, or was it totally organic and new? Do you want to answer that question?
Both. I would say, it was maybe a little more than half I already knew, and a little less than half were new. And the truth is, like, there's always a building a relationship, so, I'm constantly building relationships with people online. So, nobody enrolls before I have a relationship with them, if that makes any sense, because I need to know who they are. I want to know I want them to know about me. But people that I knew before, who I was connected with on Facebook, that those people were a little more than half. So it works both ways. Like I'm often surprised at how easily, and sometimes it's actually the people who I've just met who sign up the fastest. You know?
Yes. Yes, I'm so glad you said that. So, Christy, let me just say something here, because when I first met Leigh, I think you were having a workshop. I think you were having a workshop somewhere. And then I said to you, Leigh, how are you going to upsell these people from this workshop? And I said to you, and you said, I don't know, Petra. I'm like, Leigh, are you crazy? There are people in here that you can get at least 5 clients from right now. She's like, can I? I said, yes. So we created a plan, we created a presentation. I said, right, include all these steps in your presentation and deliver it on the last day before your last session of the workshop. And didn't you get people sign up there and then for your one-to-one?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
I mean, here's the people who came to the workshop, I gave a special price to sign up for the one-on-one if they came to the workshop. And but the thing is, I had quite a few people sign up, but afterwards I went and I just went back to my regular life, and I was signing people up at the full rate, at the full investment afterwards. So, and it wasn't that much harder than the people who'd been in my workshop and the upsell. But it's so true. You're like, upsell, and I think my reaction was, what? Upsell? What's an upsell?
Tina says, well done. Natalie says, fabulous. Christy, thank you. Incredible. Oh, Tina's clapping. And hi, Dina. Thanks for joining me. Hi, V. Hi, Isabel. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. And another thing I want to say to you as well is, if you know, I'm always saying you don't have to be a massive online celebrity. You don't have to have a massive list. Okay. Leigh does not have a massive list. Okay. She really, really doesn't. And she's not, I think she's turning into an online celebrity now. In her niche. So I think right now, after about 3 months, she's turning into a bit of a celebrity. She's well known right now, but when we started, she really, really wasn't. Okay. So yeah, well, you said something I wanted to touch on, and I completely forgot what I wanted to say. Oh, I forgot. So yeah, do you have any other questions that anyone else wants to ask about anything at all? Any other questions? Is there, oh, what would be a good thing actually? Can you, what is it like to work with me? Okay, because sometimes you just don't know what people think about you and stuff. So just tell what is it like?
You know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You know, like we talk, like, and sometimes our sessions are an hour, and we focus on business and we get our stuff done, and that's that. And then sometimes, God, we were talking about writing elephants and religion and all these other things, and it's, because I feel like, yes, I mean, and that's how I feel about my own work too. It's like, yes, we're working together. Yes, it's a business relationship, but Petra's a friend also. She's someone I trust. We don't just talk about, I mean, of course I always ask her when I have a question, when it comes to business, and there are lots of different things. Like I'm putting together like a 5-day challenge, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly that's going to be about. Petra's the first person I go to, and she's the first person I ask. But we also talk about other things in politics, and and it's nice to feel like this. Like I feel like she's really on my side, and like we use Asana to communicate. Like, so, like, we have our goals set up there, and we have all the different projects, and there's just one for communication where it's like, anytime something happens, I get to tell her. And what's so awesome about it is, like, you need to feel like someone's on your side. I need to feel like someone's on my side. And I know when I tell her what's going on, oh, Petra, I made another sale, oh, this, oh, that, she's always excited, and she's always happy, and I get clapping, and it's, and she's really happy for me. Whereas you need that when you're building a business, like, or, because while your family, your friends, you know, the people you know and you're in other parts of your life, yeah, they might be happy for you, they might not, but they don't get it. They don't really understand. They don't know what a big deal it is when I'm like, I just did my first Facebook Live. Like my first Facebook Live, like first of all, we talked about it in the session. And for me, it is a big deal to get these done. Like I was petrified. I put them off and I put them off. We talked about it in the session. She's like, all right, you're going to do it. Choose a time by when you're going to do it. I chose a time. I did it. She's like, let me know when you're going to do it. I'll show up. I let her know. She showed up for it. She was there. She was commenting. And afterwards, she came and talked to me about it. And that's when you're stuck with something, that's what you need. And, you know, Petra will meet, like, whatever, you know, whoever else you are, everyone has their own challenges. And it's always, you know, maybe video is really easy for you, although I think video is hard for a lot of people. But because I'm always seeing people being like, all right, Petra, I finally did my video. Here it is. And, you know, but the thing about the video is like it's not like it was just because I needed to do a video and get over my fear, which I did, that my videos get 500 plus views. My videos, I'm constantly getting people telling me like, that was so great. I really needed to hear that because I'm talking about perfection and how you deal with fear. And I'm actually going to be doing one later today, and I still don't really want to, but I will, about, you know, the concept of being behind. And people need to hear it, and they like it helps people. And so it's not like the video, like all that support she gave me through the video was really important to my business because it was focusing on a really important piece of my business. Working with you was really fun. And I know we worked together for 3 months, and at the end of that 3 months, I was kind of like, oh, now what am I going to do? And we talked about it, and we're continuing on other projects because I love working with Petra. I feel like she's not just a friend. She's not just my coach. She's like part of my team. And I can't imagine going back to a time when I didn't know her and oh, it's true. This was not scripted. Oh no, I made you cry.
Honestly, I can't. Leigh, thank you. I mean, and thank you as well. You know, I really thank you for choosing me because I really look forward to our sessions. I say to my husband, oh, I've got Leigh today. And, you know, my husband knows who you are. You know, he knows who you are. He says, oh, how's she getting on with the retreats? Like my husband asks about these things. And, you know, you're my absolute ideal client. You know, I knew straight away. And it's just been a pleasure, you know, to work with you and stuff. So I just really, really appreciate that. And you're making me all emotional. Okay. Tina says
interview where both people started crying in the middle of the end of it.
Yeah, because people might think, you know, I know that, yeah, I am the client enrollment strategist, but I cry. I get emotional. Oh, that was
it's not.
What I love about you is that you sent me a message a while ago, and you says, you know what, you did have fear about putting yourself out there, about talking about your fears, but you put the fears in a box and you trusted the process. That's really, really important. And you also said,
that's why it's good to know, like, I didn't feel like I was in it on my own, you know, and that allowed me to put those fears and be like, all right, I haven't done this before. I have no idea what's going to happen. Am I worried about it? Yes. But you know what? I've made a decision. It's the same thing. Like, I've made a decision. I've committed to doing this, and I did it. And I mean, that commitment part is really, really important. But I trusted, and I was right to do so. That trust was not misplaced.
Oh, thank you. And you also like video, but you do it anyway. That is really, really good because there are aspects of your business that you don't like. I've got aspects of my business that I don't like. The things that I don't like to do, I completely outsource. I don't manage my own social media. I don't manage my own Facebook ads. I don't create all those little fancy images with quotes on. I hate doing that. Okay, but you know, the thing that I can do, that I can control, is video, because I know that that's going to help me to be visible, help me to be seen and everything. And what you've done, Leigh, is that you've said, you know what, I don't do video, but this is what I want to do to educate my audience and to increase my visibility and to be on top of their mind when they need someone to help them write their book, What you've really got to, what I teach all of my clients all the time is that you brand the minds of your target audience. You have to be on top of their minds every single day. They have to see you. They have to wake up in the morning and, you know, look at their phone, and it's the first thing that they see. That is how she's booking discovery calls as well, you know. Thank you, Katrina, for joining us. Tina says, you look so confident. You're great, and I thank you so much. We have been on. Thank you. You know, I really, you know, appreciate you all watching live. We've been on for about an hour. Is there any other questions that you want to ask us, or you want to ask Leigh? Please let us know. Just to let you know as well, because the thing is, when your clients hire you, they're hiring you for results. Okay, when people hire Leigh, it's because they want to write a book. And I chose to interview Leigh today because a lot of people think that only business coaches can charge high ticket fees, but it's not true. Okay, Leigh is a brand. Okay, she's a very high-end brand. Leigh, tell people what you do. You've been published and everything. Come on, tell us. You've got books. You know.
Yeah, I have a book coming out next year about basically how to organize your writing. It's called The Writer's Roadmap: How to Organize Your Writing into a Career. I've been published in the New York Times, Washington Post. I mean, I do publishing, like, you know, how do you pitch a magazine or a newspaper or a website to have them pay you for an article, which also the lessons of really valuing how much you're worth is even more important when you're pitching, because a lot of places only want to pay, you know, $25. So I've been published, you know, box and in print and online, and now I'm focusing more on books. Like I said, I just finished one book. I've written a couple books before based on writing and confidence, and now I'm working on a novel. I'm actually, it's part of like my brand in certain ways. I'm working on a book for NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. And as I'm writing it, I'm in a way, I'm almost testing out a new way of actually share with clients. And while I'm doing it, I'm sharing pieces of it online and in lives and the things that come up. And, you know, eventually I'll publish the book too. And, you know, it's good. And this is actually all based on, I mean, I've been teaching writing for about 20 years and I love it. And they go hand in hand. Like I feel like I have to constantly be writing and making sure that I know what I'm doing while I'm teaching, because otherwise, if I'm not writing, I can't help people. But yeah, so that's what I do. Write, publish, mentor, and I love it. I really love it. And now I don't have to worry about sales getting in the way, because sales were taking up most of my time, and they're not anymore.
So I just want to say that you can add Leigh as a friend, because Leigh goes live on her personal page. Okay. And if you do want to write a book, you definitely join Leigh's group. It's called The First 75. I'll put a link in the bottom of it. Okay. So if is there anything else you want to add to this? I think we're going to wrap up now. Do you have any other questions that you want to ask Leigh or me? And then we can wrap up, can't we?
Oh, so much.
Sorry, what was that, Leigh?
I said this was fun. Thank you.
It was fun, and this is my first ever live interview, completely unplanned. This is just how I do things. So, any other questions? I think we can wrap up. Tina says she loved it. Thank you very much. Oh, Tina also, we should do this on a regular basis. Oh, what I want to say about Leigh as well. Leigh helps you to become a writer. Okay, so she helps you to become a published writer as well, and she has got clients who have made several $1,000s by writing their books. You know I have to talk about money. You know I have to talk about money, don't you? Yeah.
No, you're thinking like maybe I should have said that, and it is that constant branding, and I'm still learning. I mean, it's been 3 months and I've learned a huge amount, but I'm still learning. I'm still figuring it out. So there's a lot more for me.
Oh, Hazel Sales, well done. Well, thank you so much. I think we can wrap up now. So I wanted just to share just a bit of insight about what it looks like when I work with my clients and what my clients achieve, when they work with me and when they have a high revenue. It's really, really key, which is dependent on acquiring high-end premium clients. All of my clients, their services are $3,000 and upwards. We've shared with you $100 and $250 an hour. Now she charges multi-thousands to work with her, and very, very soon as well. She's enrolling clients with ease. All it's about having premium packages that your clients see themselves using, and you being able to confidently enroll clients onto your premium programs. If you want to work with me, Petra Foster, just literally send me a message. You can join my Facebook group. It's called Enroll High End Clients. I'm going to say goodbye and thank you so much for joining us. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, has it ended? Oh.